Okay, now we're going to work on the lower barrel of our bearing kit, of our Stars and Stripes bearing kit. And what you'll find in the kit is a red dyed piece looking like so. And there should be, I believe, 6 stripes on there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to put the white stripes inside of there and glue them in place. Now, if you follow the instructions that Ken gives you with these kits, then you'll do just fine. But I'm going to deviate from those instructions a bit, and rather than using regular yellow glue, I'm going to use CA for that. So what you'll need is, out of your bearing kit, the long brass, which is the 10 millimeter brass tube, and we're going to insert that in the lower barrel wood piece here, the laser scribed piece. And if you note, there's 2 bands on either end of this thing, which eventually we're going to sand that away and cut this end off right here and right here, so that it's just stripes showing. But to hold the stripes in place in the meantime, while you're doing the assembly, there's a little band that's in place. So you want to be sure that your brass tube is in the center of the wood piece here, so that your brass tube is dead center, and you've got a little bit of a space between the wood and the brass on either side, so you can tell it's dead center. And the reason for that is, when you sand this end piece off, you want to come right up to the brass, and this little retaining ring here on the end will be sanded away completely, and you'll just end up with stripes. Okay, now we're going to put the stripes in place, and I want you to first note that they can only go in one way, and that's the wrong way. So if you flip it around, we'll put it in the right way, and you have to pop it in place a little bit. It's a press fit, and we're going to put these stripes in place. And again, you got to get it in there the right direction, just like so. Really helpful if you put it in the right direction, in the right side. Okay, now before I put that last stripe in, I'm going to align my brass and get it back where I want it, just in the right spot. And I'll put the last piece in. Now what I'm going to do is take a rubber band and stretch that around one end tightly. Hold that in place. Make sure all these stripes are and they're nice and snug. Then I'm going to put on a pair of rubber gloves, because this is going to get a little messy. And I'm using some thin CA glue, a nasty little tube. I've been using CA glue for a long time. And we're going to spread this CA glue on liberally. And we're going to get it all over this end. By the way, I've got some wax paper here that this glue is going to drip on and make a big mess on, so not a big deal. I can be as sloppy as I want to be. And this thin CA glue, or super glue, is going to get down there in the crevices and fill up all the little cracks and so forth. And we're going to let this, after we get all the glue on, we're going to let this set for probably an hour, maybe 2 hours, and let it sit nice and dry. And then maybe come back and have to put on a second coat of CA glue, just to make sure everything is in there good and tight. Okay, now I'm going to put a rubber band around this other end. Hold it in there nice and steady. And I'm going to remove this rubber band now on the side that doesn't have any glue applied yet. By the way, you should probably wear some mask or some kind of protection, because the vapors from this CA glue, if you're using it as much as liberally as I am here, is kind of nasty, and you don't want to be breathing too much of that stuff. So have some ventilation, wear yourself a dust mask, and be sure you're not harming your health. So we'll get that on there good liberal, and then we'll put the rubber band back on. And after an hour or so, we'll take the rubber bands off and perhaps put another coat on. I've got one here I did earlier, and the rubber band might be pretty well stuck on there. You might have to bring it off, take it off in pieces. Like so. And you put another coat, a little final coat of CA on there, just to be sure you got a good solid coverage. And it's going down there in the cracks, and it's going to bond the wood to the brass tube, and everything's just going to be wonderful. Roll it around a little bit, get it in there good and tight. So I'll let that set, and this one we just did, let it set for an hour or so. And then from there we'll go on to the third step, which will be getting this part ready to put on the mandrel, and then on to the lathe, and a couple of little helpful hints and ideas on how to turn this piece successfully. All right.